hunter's dilemma. In the village of Akusa, there was a man named Kojo who was known throughout the land for his skills as a hunter. From a young age, Kojo had learned the art of tracking animals, moving through the dense forest like a shadow, unseen and unheard. His aim with the bow and arrow was unmatched, and he provided food for many families in the village who could not hunt for themselves. Kojo was respected, but he was also feared. His eyes were always sharp, and he rarely spoke unless necessary. Villagers would often see him leaving early in the morning, disappearing into the trees, and returning with wild game slung over his shoulder. But as skilled as Kojo was, there was one thing that troubled him deeply. He had never missed a shot in his life, until one fateful day. It was the height of the dry season when game was scarce, and Kojo ventured deep into the forest in search of food. After hours of tracking, he spotted a large deer, the biggest he had ever seen. Its majestic antlers were almost like branches, and its fur shone in the sunlight. Kojo pulled back his bowstring, steadying his breath. Just as he was about to release the arrow, the deer turned and locked eyes with him. Something about the deer's gaze unnerved him. For the first time in his life, his hands trembled, and his arrow flew wide, missing its mark. The deer didn't flee, instead, it slowly walked toward him. Kojo's heart raced. He felt as if the deer was speaking to him, not with words, but with its presence. The hunter froze, unable to pull another arrow from his quiver. The deer finally stopped just a few feet away, staring deep into his eyes. In that moment, Kojo felt something he had never felt before: compassion. He lowered his bow, realizing that he could not kill this creature. The deer turned and walked away, disappearing into the forest. For days, Kojo couldn't shake the feeling that he had experienced something more than just a hunt. The forest seemed different, alive in a way it hadn't before. He began to notice the smallest things: the birds singing, the rustling of the leaves, the way the wind whispered through the trees. The villagers were confused when Kojo returned empty-handed that evening, but he said nothing. From that day onward, Kojo rarely hunted. Instead, he spent his days in the forest, learning about the animals, the plants, and the rhythms of nature. He realized that there was more to life than just taking from it. He began teaching the younger villagers the same lessons, showing them how to respect the forest and live in harmony with the creatures that shared it. Kojo's change puzzled the village elders, but over time, they came to respect him even more. He had become not just a hunter, but a protector of the forest. The villagers who once feared him now looked up to him as a guide. Kojo had discovered that true strength wasn't in the hunt, but in understanding the delicate balance between man and nature.
Get your points, and if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please like and subscribe now. This is how we continue to stay in business. Thank you and good luck.